Welcome back! Magsisimula na sa susunod na buwan ang pinakaabangang 77th season ng UAAP kung saan target na ng LaSalle Green Archers ang back-to-back Seniors Championships. At para sa ating bagong UAAP season, we will have discussion tonight with longtime basketball analyst Dr. J. Andy Howe, ang siyang napiling maging commissioner ng UAAP ngayong season 77. Good evening.
Magandang gabi,
Good evening.
Sir
Magandang
Andy
gabi.
Howe. First of all, congratulations for being picked.
Congratulations or what?
Is that good news
I really don't.
for you? Okay, first of all, did you expect that to be appointed? I mean, you were chosen over the likes of Robert Jaworski, Noli Yala, Chino Trinidad, and Elmer Yanga. And what can you say about people linking you to the MVP group of companies?
First of all, I had already been a commissioner, so maybe something that I did in the past was what made them choose me over other people. Okay, now a lot of people ask me about that. No? I work for Talk and Text as a consultant, all right, and that's a professional team. And I've worked for several teams in the professional league. Pero this time, I'm working with Talk and Text. But before I entered this, before I even accepted this, I had told MVP that I was going to be, that they were going to ask me to be the UAAP commissioner. And I said, I like the job. It's a challenge. And, you know, MVP is a sportsman. He has a passion for the school that, you know, of course, he represents, no, and that he has helped finance. But he's not going to ask me to do anything. You know, I think everybody knows MVP is a sportsman. That's not a problem. And I don't think that's a problem with also the other members of the board.
And besides, you said that you're from LaSalle, your kids are from Ateneo, and you were appointed by UE, so there's no conflict at all.
Yeah.
Now, what is the exact role of the UAAP Commissioner?
Well, here, in this case, it's more of like police powers within the tournament, the game. So, for me, the exact job of the commissioner is to make sure that the games are officiated properly. You know, the board itself takes care of all the things for the, in general, the budgets and everything. And of course, eventually, you will find out the even decision-making on some things. But during the games and the running of the tournament belongs to my office.
All right, and obviously you're very qualified, having so much experience as a commissioner. You were telling me your first stint as a commissioner was back in 1989 as commissioner of the PBL.
Yeah.
Of course, you were one-time commissioner of the UAP also back in 2011.
Yeah, correct.
Now, my question is, Commissioner, you observing the UAP the past 7 years, what did you see that needs to be implemented this coming UAP season 77?
Well, the UAP itself, the tournament itself is great. I think even this year, although you have probably some favorites and the defending champions would probably be one of the big favorites, I think there's a lot of parity in the league. Definitely 5 or 6 teams can contend, and maybe 2 teams that are more or less devoid of stars because of the fact that they're what you would say regrouping, and I'm referring to University of the Philippines. I don't know about Adamson. I think those teams would have a lot of problems with the other teams, but there's a lot of parity. The most important thing here, and I think that's what everybody is after, not only the board, but even the people that follow, the fans, the students, the alumni, and everything, is that there be a good sense of judgment and fairness as the games are being called.
Okay.
And that's supposed to be my job. Now, I hope I can do a good job with that.
And you said that your first plan is to replace the referees from the SBP.
Let me
to
correct
the
that,
grassroots.
Gretchen. That's not the point here. Every commissioner has his own choice of who he wants to use.
Okay.
These were the people that I bought in this, that I'm going to bring in this year, were the people that were with me in 2011. And I really felt I was very comfortable. I had a couple of complaints, never real big controversies. So I'm comfortable with these people because I trust them, and they trust the authority that I place over them. And that's the most important thing, I think, for anybody, that's working as a head of a certain organization.
And you were telling me also that you will be appointing as your deputy commissioners this year your good friend Dr. John Lim
Yeah, he
and Jojo
continues.
Villa.
Jojo Villa is also has been a part of the technical committee before. He used to be a player. He studied in UP. I think he's a good guy, and he certainly will help. And then, of course, our supervisor is still Robbie Guevara, the most respected person in teaching basketball rules in this country.
Okay, so for those who don't know, you will be coming in with the Basketball Referees Association for Schools, Colleges, and Universities,
yes.
Called BRASCO,
BRASCO.
by Coach Joe Lipa.
Yes.
Yes.
It was formed by him. You know, he mentored
And
these
how
people.
do you think will they be able to change how the officiating goes?
Like I said, during my time, I felt they were pretty good. The only problem in 2011 was some of them were still new in the business, in that sense of, you know, how high profile the UAAP is, how passionate the people are there. So, you know, they were still young. But up to now, a lot of them have matured and improved their calling, as well as the veterans itself. And I feel that I can do a good job with them. That's the most important thing.
Obviously, with change comes interest. The fans are wondering, what can the new commissioner bring to the UAAP? Last year, when Commissioner Chito Loizaga came in, one of the things that he brought to the league was mga cameras. He put various cameras around the arena so he could review the games more thoroughly. And as a result, nagkaroon ng napakaraming suspensions. And that really affected yung takbo ng liga. What about you, Commissioner? What do you plan to do?
Well, I know for a fact that ABS-CBN has a lot of cameras, which I can use, knowing Albert Ramos to be my friend.
Nowhere to hide.
He and I work a lot of NBA games in the past. Okay. The other thing which I did, which they didn't have for the last few years, was I had my own computer operated by my video recorder and a guy that I had to bring in, wherein I can recall any portion of the game at any time, splice already. So you see, in the first half, for example, I don't like this call, I don't like this call, somebody's complaining about this call. All I have to do is go inside the locker room, I show it to the referees, you didn't make a good call. You weren't in good position. Somebody's complaining about the call, I show him, hey, it's correct. Which I did actually to one of the managers of the team. And, you know, he appreciated that. But I'm going to recall it again this year.
Well, UAAP, as we all know, is a very, very popular league.
Yes.
And sometimes very controversial at that.
Yeah.
And speaking of controversial, Senator Pia Cayetano recently, I think, passed a bill, the Student Athletes Protection Act. And this one, I think, removes the 2-year residency that was passed, I think, just last year. So what happens now to the UAAP? Do the players get to play already, like si Jerry Pingoy? Do they get to play this year?
This
What
is
do you
my
have to say about
personal
that?
knowledge, okay? First of all, that thing was passed by the Senate about 2 weeks ago. It is in the House of Representatives. Now, this is not my job. This is the job of the governors, whether they want to allow them or not. What I understand from them is that ang gusto nila, if the House of Representatives will pass it into a law before they put the requirements, the eligibility, siguro they have no choice because you have to follow the law.
Okay.
But if they have not yet made it into a law, being a bill, then maybe they can also put their situation in where they say, hindi pa pwede yan. So we'll see. And we have to clarify this. This is from high school going to college.
Oh, okay.
It's from high school, not from a college going to another college. Then you really have to have residency.
Ito, Gretchen, I want to ask the commissioner this. And we were talking about the NBA Finals and
All right.
you being happy that the Spurs won. What are your thoughts on flopping? I mean, we saw Dwayne Wade's flop on Manu Ginobili. He was fined. Your thoughts on that and flopping happening in the UAAP?
Well, flopping is a great defensive job, and you have to sell it to the referees. The one thing with Ginobili and Wade was hindi nakita ng referee. I don't know how he made the call because he was behind the guy when he flopped. No? He just thought he hit him in the eye. Nobody likes flopping. But we cannot fine our students. You know, how much money are we going to fine them? 20 pesos, 25 pesos? No. I think we just have to be very careful when we make those kind of calls. But I certainly am. I'm against flopping.
And lastly, Sir Andy, just to end this, what can we expect from you this year?
Well, as I said the first time I worked, who deserves to win will win this tournament. And that I'm dedicated to. Now, I know it's a hard job. You know, sometimes you hear a lot of things, and you cannot blame the passion of the alumni as well as the students, the players, the coaches, wherein they give so much to try to make their team win. The only thing I have as a consolation is, if, as LeBron likes to use this word, and he keeps on using this, as long as I give it my best, I can leave, you know, my team, I can leave and wake up tomorrow and I still will feel good about this. But in my case, I know I have a lot of good friends, Big Daddy being one of them, and you know, I can ride this because there are people that believe in what I'm trying to do. And I owe basketball a lot. I've been here since 1977, you know, with this sport. And I'm very grateful to that.
Well, we're very grateful to have you here, Commissioner Andy Howe, new commissioner of the UAP. Welcome back, sir.
I'll see you on the 12th. Huh?
Yes.
You have your different teams to cheer with. I hope you sit beside each other.
We're looking forward to a great season.
I'll see TJ too. I'll see
Thank you.
TJ too, and boom. Bye. Thank you.